How do you handle splits? When you're left with a split, sometimes people panic and they figure they can't make them. But most splits are pretty much a harder spare to make. And to align yourself with a split is not much different than a regular spare. There's more risk, and obviously it's a little harder to make, but you can definitely make them and at least make a good attempt if you use the methods of your spare shots, the 3-6-9 method, or at least align yourself up with a certain part of the spare. In a split, you have different pins you can look at. You can look at the left side, the right side of the pin, a little bit earlier on the lane. You can look at a different angle. There's different ways of actually making a split, at least attempting to make one. For the 6-7-10 split that we have here, the best way of approaching that is to basically go for a 10 pin. You're gonna line yourself up with a 10 pin and allow the ball to just get the corner of the 6 pin and slide it over to the 7. So in other words, approaching a split is not much different than making a spare. When approaching a split, especially a 6-7-10 split, you're gonna line yourself up the same way you would for a 10 pin. Your body's gonna be aligned up with the 10 pin spare, but you're gonna be looking on the right side of the 6 pin in order to slide that 6 pin over to the 7 pin and complete the spare. For that particular spare or split, that's 1 out of 1,000 shots for an average bowler. That's something that you approach very often if you're a competitive bowler, but as a recreational bowler, you may see that once in a while, but to make it, that's 1 in 1,000. By how I made that, I approached the lane as if I was making a spare, going for a 10 pin, and using my visual aid to basically line myself up with the right side of the 6 pin in order to clip that pin across the lane. We're still making a 10 pin. That's how you make the 6-7-10 split. That's how you handle any split.